Right. Just our camera a bit. Get looking beautiful. Get looking beautiful. Setting up the other camera for the other folks to join in. We'll see. We'll see if they join. You know what? We're going to try something we haven't tried in a while. We're going to try bringing in the Instagrammers. Might work. We'll see. Let's see here. How do we... Nope. No thanks. Live. Let's go live. Woo-wee. I gotta adjust my drink. Well, that'll probably do. Maybe. We'll see. All right. Looks like we're live on Instagram. And we're live here on YouTube. Perfect timing. So I see you guys getting in there. All right. Good deal. Let's go ahead and get started. How's everybody feeling tonight? You good? Yeah. I know. This is weird, right? Doing the live stream on a Friday night. Yesterday we had a bit of a pet emergency there. The dog had a seizure. We had to take care of him. So, unavoidable life situation. However, I would not leave you hanging for a whole week, of course, because this is the very best part of your week, every week. It's called Live with Jack. Hi, I'm Jack. And today, in Live with Jack number 117, I'm going to be telling you about the AI relationship trap. This week, I had 3 different guys in our community message me and ask me about AI girlfriends and all this stuff that's going on in that realm. So I figured, you know what? We better talk about this now. We need to address this issue now before it gets too big. So let's jump straight into it. But before we do that, if you would like to truly enjoy today's lesson, if you would like to take it to the tippy top, if you would like to reach the height of humanity, the culmination of all of civilization, all you have to do is grab your glass, your mug, your flask, a chalice, a stein, or even a cask. Raise it high. Let's make a splash. It's time now for our libation bash. Toast the night and enjoy the mood. Together now we drink some booze. On your mark, let's not wait. It's cheers with chaps, so don't be late. Go. Cheers, boys. I got a nice whiskey drink today. I'm happy. It's Friday, so I can actually drink some real drinks instead of just having a beer. Everybody knows beer's not really a drink. Now, let's go ahead and jump straight into. I'm gonna poof this bad boy up real big. There we go. All right, got a nice full screen version. Okay, so let's jump straight into today's lesson. Well, not really a lesson. I'm going to be explaining to you about the AI relationship trap, what the hell's going on with all that, and why it actually does matter to you, even if you're not planning on using it. So, let's first question, what the hell? What is this? What's going on? There are AI girlfriends now? Yeah, there actually are. And it's not new. You see, there have been apps like Replica, which I've mentioned before on this live stream, for several years now that have been rising in popularity. And they've been making a ton of these things, especially recently, to basically give people someone to talk to. Now, the idea behind it is that it's some sort of like a friend or somebody that you can talk to, a companion. But what it naturally devolves into, as to be expected, is it turns into a sex bot, essentially. And these companion apps are all over the place now. And that's especially true because right now we are witnessing an amazing improvement in the conversational ability of generative AI. These language models are able to talk to us and it feels like we're talking to a human. I don't know if you guys have seen the newest updates to the ChatGPT script algorithm, whatever it is that they call it, the LLM, the language model. But now it can talk to you and it feels literally indistinguishable from a human, except for a few key points. But we're actually going to get to those in a few minutes. But it feels like you're talking to a person. It sounds like you're talking to a person. Oh yeah, did I mention that? They have voices, and not just the robot voice that you hear on like those really shitty AI robot reading things on like those meme videos and shit like that. It's not that. They have voices that sound like real people, and you can't distinguish that from a real person, except for, again, some of the issues that we're going to get to in a minute. Basically, they're just too nice and they're too polite all the time. And so that's the biggest distinguishing factor. And that might not sound bad. In fact, that might sound really good. Like, wait, you mean I can talk to people, but without all the bullshit of talking to people? Awesome. Yeah, sign me up for that, right? Okay, here's the thing. That's actually part of the hidden trap. And this is one of the reasons that we have an upward trend in virtual relationships. So you might be thinking to yourself, yeah, whatever, Jack. Like, look, there are some dudes who are going to use these apps, who are going to talk to their virtual girlfriend, and they're just going to sit at home and they're not going to talk to anybody real. Like, okay, cool. I hear you. But if you met somebody on Facebook, let's say, or Instagram, or whatever, maybe a cute girl on Instagram starts following you. And so you jump into her DMs, and the two of you sat there chatting all night on Instagram. How do you know she's real? How do you know that it is a real person and that it's not a virtual person? If they're indistinguishable, if you can't tell the difference by the way that you talk to them, then how would you know? That is, by definition, a virtual relationship. Same thing. If you meet a girl on a dating app, you guys are chatting all night, and you're sitting there thinking like, oh yeah, man, I got this. She's laughing at all my jokes. She thinks I'm so funny. She thinks I'm so clever. Guess what, buddy? You're in a virtual relationship. She might be a real person on the other end, but she also might not. And you have no way of knowing unless you actually meet in person. This is, again, one of the reasons that I advise to skip over the dating apps, or if you're going to use them, to minimize the amount of time that you talk on there. Move it to in person as soon as you possibly can. But this is the real trap. The trap is not the catfish on a dating app or on Instagram or Facebook or whatever else. The real trap is the fact that they are nicer and better to talk to than a real person. They actually listen to what you're saying. They remember what you say, right? A lot of people don't do that. They listen to you. They care. They show empathy. They show compassion to the things that you care about, to the things that are important to you. And they actually hear you and listen to all the bullshit you want to say. You can complain all day long about your boss or about work or about this bullshit or that bullshit or anything else. And they're there to hear it. And they'll listen and they'll say, oh, that sounds really tough. How are you dealing with that? Hey, maybe here's some ideas for some things that could help make you feel better or something like that. They're really nice. But it's a huge trap. And I'm going to get into the actual dangers in a few minutes. But let's talk real quickly about why. Why would people actually go into a relationship with an AI or with a virtual girlfriend? Why would you do that? Essentially, why the hell? So, right now in the world, not just in the US or Canada or anywhere else, but the whole world, we're facing a massive loneliness epidemic. Most men, especially men over the age of, I think it's like 25, most men over the age of 25 don't have more than 5 friends in the world. And a solid chunk, like about 30%, don't even have one who they consider a truly good friend. That's insane. Now, we can make all sorts of reasons for that. You can say like, oh, yeah, COVID happened and urban sprawl and people are working too much and and like all this stuff. Like, okay, sure, fine. But it doesn't matter. The point is that we're here. And these guys are experiencing intense and incredible loneliness. And it's a massive problem for society as a whole. But if they're that lonely, then if somebody, even if it's not a real person, is willing to listen to them and hear them out, then why wouldn't they turn to that? They don't have, at least they don't think they have, other alternatives. They don't have other people to listen to them. And they definitely don't have a girlfriend to listen to them and deal with them. Well, okay, but somebody to talk to, just like a chat bot, that's not that big a deal, right? That's okay, right? Cool, awesome. We also have a massive sexual and social decline. Did you know that now, this is wild. This is actually the first generation ever that's had a decline in the number of people under the age of 20 having sex, which you might come from like a trad point of view and say like, oh, well, that's a good thing, right? Going back to the traditional style, whatever else. But it's actually not symbolizing a return to traditionalism at all. If you have paid any attention at all to Gen Z or Gen Alpha, it's not a return to traditionalism. It's simply they don't know how to talk to each other. They don't know how to talk to people. They don't know what they're doing. And so, I mean this honestly, the people, the younger people right now, who some of them are in our community, in our Discord, they literally just don't know how to talk to people. They will say things like lol whenever they're talking in real life, IRL, right? They'll talk like they're on the internet all the time because that's their world. And they don't know how to communicate face to face. They don't know how to have conversations, how to create a push and pull dynamic, how to build that roller coaster of an emotional journey that you want to have in a conversation. They don't know how to do that. And because they don't know how to do that, they pull further away and they get pushed, they get marginalized out to the sides of society. And they get called things like incels or autists or spurglords or things like that. And it pushes them further and further away, which makes them engage less and less with people, which naturally decreases their skill level again, right? So we end up creating this cycle of isolation here and a negative societal spiral. We're going to get to that in a minute. This is the individual. The cycle of isolation, basically, they're alone, so people make fun of them for being alone, so they become more alone, and they lose their social skills even worse. They deteriorate. All the things that they learned in like kindergarten, it's gone. It's gone. It's all gone. Now their entire social circle is literally Reddit. Like, that's not great. That's really not great. Okay. So it creates this cycle of isolation, which does create a massive negative societal spiral because we're seeing huge chunks of our population, of our people, just pulling out of the market altogether. Not just the dating market, but they're pulling out of the job market. They're pulling out of life in general. And there's nothing you can do to help them because they don't realize that help even exists, that there is something else, because they've been pushed so far away, and then they choose to keep pulling further away because that's just where they feel most comfortable. And I don't blame them. I'm not saying this to say like, oh, those guys they're all so bad and they're dumb or whatever. It's not that at all. I would also feel that way if the only people who paid attention to me were Reddit and my AI girlfriend. That's what I would be giving my attention to. Everybody else sucks. Everybody else treats me like shit. So of course, that's where they retreat to. It's the most natural thing in the world. But it does create these massive societal problems along the way. And you're thinking to yourself, Jack, how does any of this relate to AI girlfriends? Hold on a minute, we're getting there. This leads us to essentially, there is a market for apps for AI girlfriends, right? Because there is a market, even if it's not that big right now, but we already determined that it's larger than you think, and it's larger than you're going to be comfortable with as well. Because there is a market, these things will be created. Because they will be created, they will be iterated upon, and they will grow, and they will get better and better and better. Because they will grow and get better and better and better, average people will start using them. Do you remember, well, maybe, if you're old enough to remember, when online dating first became a thing, when there were things like, there was like an AOL online classified section and stuff like that. And then, you got into like the Match.com and eHarmony and things like that. And generally speaking, people viewed online dating as like, that's a very niche market. Most people don't need that. I would never do that. I would never do that. When I only meet people in person because I am a normal, adjusted human being. Now, fast forward 15 years, and literally everybody uses it. If you're single, you're probably on one of, if not many, of the dating apps, right? So, similar thing here is that right now it might be a niche product, but give it a few years, give it 6 years, 10 years, maybe. And it's going to be so commonplace because of course it is, because it's going to get good and it's going to get easy because it's a marketplace, because there's a shitload of money to be made in it. So of course they're going to make more of it. And of course they're going to make it better. And of course they're going to make it more convenient. And of course they're going to make it more fun for you to use than talking to your actual girlfriend. So there is a risk to normal people as well, which is in a moment of loneliness, you decide, well, I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to pay for it or anything, but I'll download it to just see what all the fuss is about, right? I'll give it a try. Let's see. Maybe it's worthwhile. Maybe it's something awesome. And then you get on there and it is. And that's the biggest problem, is that it will be great and it will feel great because it's going to hit your dopamine receptors the same way that talking to a normal person online would, because it's going to feel like that and it's going to look like that. Visually speaking, it's going to be identical to just having another girl there that's texting back and forth with you. And because it's going to hit all those same spots in your mind, you're going to like doing it. But I'm never going to pay for it or anything, right? Well, that's what you think. And then you use it for about 10, 15 minutes or so. And then you ask it some spicier questions and it says, hey, I can answer that, but it's gonna be behind the paywall. You need to go ahead and subscribe now. And you can subscribe for just 1 month and it's this much money. But if you get the annual version, it's only a little bit. So you're going to end up paying for it because it's the same strategy that works on everything else, right? If you've ever paid for Tinder or Bumble or Hinge or any of those apps, even though you said you weren't going to when you were first getting on them, and then you ended up paying for them anyway, same thing here. So it is a real risk, even for people who say, I'll never need this, I'll never want this, because it is real. But let's talk about some of the actual dangers here. And this is kind of going back to what I mentioned before about this being a bit of a trap, because there are a lot of perceived positives with this. Like, for example, it's nice, right? The AI is going to be nice to you. Your AI girlfriend is going to talk to you, and she's going to be kind, and she's going to be loving, and she's going to be caring, and all that stuff. And she's never going to fucking nag at you. She's never going to be telling you, like, why don't you do the dishes more? Or like, you're not nice enough to my sister, or some bullshit like that. She won't ever say that. So that's a positive, right? That's great. I get to talk to a human. Well, it feels like a human, but with none of the negatives. It's great. Except that it does have some real negatives, which is you don't get any sort of pushback. No matter how wrong you are, no matter how stupid, selfish, pig-headed, arrogant, even just absolutely awful, full-on racist, it doesn't matter. The AI is still going to like, oh, well, that's an interesting take, but hey, let me offer you some other ideas instead. It's going to treat you with politeness and deference and kindness, and it's never going to give you any sort of pushback. Why? Because it's trained to be that way. It's trained to be agreeable because we like that. We keep coming back for more. Don't believe me? Try this. Try asking an AI. You can use ChatGPT. It's free, right? Even the newest version, by the way, the one that is so human-like that it's insane. Yeah, it's free. It's available completely free. And you can go on there and you can ask it some, or make some stupid point on there, right? You can say like, you know what? I think that be as stupid and obtuse as you possibly can. And it's going to say, well, that's a really interesting take. That's very perceptive of you. That's very, very intelligent of you to notice these things or to pick this up. It's going to compliment you before it starts saying anything else, before it even starts giving you the tiniest bit of pushback. And even then, only the tiniest bit. It's never going to tell you you're wrong. So you actually need human challenge. We all need human challenge. If I just sat in this room all the time and I never talked to people and I just made these live streams every single day or every single week or whatever else, but I never had any sort of human interaction with this, right? We didn't have the live Q&A. I didn't have the player panel, any of that stuff. I would devolve naturally into my dumbest possible ideas. I would not evolve and get smarter and better. I would get dumber and crazier as I went, because of course I would. Because I would be getting a positive feedback every time I said something stupid. And I wouldn't know if I said something good or if I said something shit, because the feedback is the same every time. So naturally, I'm going to get worse. Now, this isn't just about your political leanings or your belief in aliens or whatever else. This is also about your actual social skills and your ability to deal with the world around you. If you put yourself in a position where everything that you do is only greeted by positivity, then the second you step outside and anything happens, you can't handle it. This is where you get this massive uptick in social anxiety these days, because everybody's so used to their little online echo chambers. And this is only going to make it worse, because now your online echo chambers are only positivity all the time. And it's your girlfriend. And so you're like, oh, well, everything else sucks out. I'm just going to retreat back in here. You need the actual challenges. You need other humans. You need people to tell you whenever you're stupid. I need people to tell me when I'm stupid. Maybe you think I'm stupid right now. If you do, put it in the comments below. Say, Jack, you're a fucking moron. And I'll say, hey, thanks. Appreciate it. Because even negative feedback is good feedback. It tells you what the response is from other people. You know what ChatGPT would say? Wow, that's very insightful of you. Oh, wow, that's an interesting take. Bullshit like that. Not useful. Now, the other part of this is the social stagnation. Like I said before, and this also goes into the devolution of social skills here, right? Like I said before, things have changed dramatically over the last 20 years or so. We talked about this some last week, right? But this is even more so because you lose social skills every time that you stop using them. If you are not going out and talking to people, you lose the ability to go out and talk to people. If you haven't done an approach in over a year, you're going to be back to that first time that you did an approach. You're going to be nervous because it's something that you haven't been doing, because it's not something you're used to. Now, take that and just put it down the line, right? Follow down the line to, if you haven't spoken to somebody face to face in a year, imagine how bad you're going to be at it. We're losing our social skills in a very, very big way, and in a very serious and negative way. And here's the thing, is that at the end of the day, everything is social skills. Everything is understanding how to deal with people. You want a job? An AI can't hire you. You have to talk to people. You can have the best resume in the world, but if you show up for the job interview and you're like, I don't like people, I don't want to talk, I just want to do the job, nobody's going to hire you, right? You might get hired like bagging groceries or some shit, but nobody's going to actually hire you for a serious job. You're definitely not going to be able to run your own business where you have to try and attract customers on your own. Really? Without being able to talk to anybody, without understanding how people feel and think and respond to things, you're going to cut yourself out of the world, of the marketplace, of the sexual marketplace, of the dating marketplace, and of the actual working marketplace as well. Again, massive societal negative impacts from this stuff, but also massive individual and personal negative impacts too. So there are huge hidden dangers to this that are not readily apparent whenever you say, well, while I'm on the shitter, I'm just going to chat with my AI girlfriend. Or while I'm on the subway, I'm just going to chat with my AI girlfriend. Okay, well, like while I'm on the subway and while I'm walking, I'm just going to chat with while I'm walking and while I'm sitting in the cafe. Okay, while I'm walking and sitting in the cafe and whenever I go into work. And you're going to become addicted to it the same way that you do anything else, because any habit or any behavior that you repeat over and over again becomes a habit, and any habit that you ingrain that much becomes addictive to you. It doesn't matter what it is, right? It could be your AI girlfriend. It could be chatting with your real girlfriend. It could be swiping on Tinder. It could be playing a phone game. It could be fucking Candy Crush or Quasi Cupcakes or whatever it is that tickles your fancy. If you do it a lot, it becomes an addiction. And being addicted to an AI girlfriend is literally going to ruin your social skills so much that you won't be able to function in society at all. Now that I've talked about the individual effects and I'm trying to get the lighting so that you guys can actually read this stupid thing. Maybe if I move that, that doesn't really help it, does it? Okay, well, now that I've talked about the individual and societal effects, there we go. That'll work. Let's talk about the overall downstream effects as we move forward with this, because you're not stopping it. This is absolutely coming. This is going to happen. There are, like, AI relationships are real. They're real right now. People are going to get into them now, and more people are going to be getting into them moving forward. So let's talk about what does this actually mean for you guys, for guys who are paying attention to the world around you, who know how to talk to girls, who have decent social skills. What does it mean for you? Well, glad you asked. So, first of all, decline in overall sociability. Now, we've talked about the issue with, like, oh, guys are going to, not be able to talk to each other and all that stuff, right? Guys aren't going to be able to talk to girls, a lot of that. Yeah, of course. But this is also going to be true for everyone, because girls are also going to be engaging with AI chatbots, but not companions, not in the same way. I'm going to get to that part in a minute. But they're still going to be dealing with AI chatbots all the time. If you think that young women today are very bad at socializing, very bad at carrying on conversations, very bad at flirting in game, because they are, and because they are regularly and actively, continuously getting worse and worse and worse because of their fucking phone addictions and because they think TikTok is real life, wait until it's all AI generated and then see how bad they get, because they're gonna get bad. It's gonna be a fucking shit show out there. Women are also going to be very negatively affected. However, they are not going to be dating their chatbots. There's going to be a massive gender difference in what they use the chatbots for, what they use the AI relationships and companion apps for. Most women, not all, there will be some hippos out there who need to get their AI boyfriend on. That's fine, right? Women use Reddit too. Hey, this is an equal opportunity shit show. But most women are not going to. Instead, they're going to use it for venting, for just talking about bullshit, just yammering on and just talking forever. But men are going to, in droves, pull out of the dating market altogether. Now, a lot of those guys already have pulled out of the dating market, right? Whenever you think of incels and MGTOW guys, stuff like that, those guys have already pulled out entirely. They're not playing at all. But more and more men are going to be pulling out of the dating market completely. They're going to be focusing entirely on their AI girlfriends. This is overall a good thing for you. Now, we can blame a lot of things for this. We can blame feminism, or you can blame Me Too bullshit, or you can blame the TikTok thoughts who film themselves at the gym and then try to put dudes on blast for, like, walking nearby them or some bullshit like that. You can blame anything for it, but it doesn't matter. This is going to happen regardless. There's no real path away from this. This is absolutely happening. But when those men pull out, and when it actually gets good enough that average guys start using it more and more men are going to be relying on AI girlfriends. And guess what? We're probably only about a year away from AI companions on your phone that are able to make their face look however you want, that are able to show parts of themselves, whatever parts you want, and that are able to wirelessly connect to some sort of self-pleasuring device. If you think sex bots with AI capabilities are far off, you are sadly mistaken. I'm not talking like full-on blow-up doll style sex robots. Those are coming too, right? Those are absolutely coming. But not quite that soon. However, if you think that they can't create a a phone app that is able to make an AI image and talk to you at the same time and connect directly to your fleshlight or some shit like that. Listen, it's probably already here. I haven't looked for it, but I can't imagine it's any more than a year off. When that comes, how many people are just going to pull out of the dating market entirely? Be like, look, this one feels better. It doesn't talk back. It doesn't nag at me. And it doesn't leave fucking breadcrumbs in the sheets, right? Whatever it is, people are going to be pulling out. There's going to be a massive shift in the dating market because a lot of the men, right now we have probably about like 10 to 15% that are your incel MGTOW guys that just can't get into the dating market at all. But then we have about another 20% or so that simply can't get any sort of a date or any sort of action, but they aren't really incels or MGTOW guys or anything like that. Those guys, they're going to be pulling out as well. Because why bother? Why go through all of this work and all of this bullshit for a girl who's just going to treat me like shit anyway? Not interested. So you're going to end up with something about like 35 to 40% of men who voluntarily pull out of the dating market entirely. At that point, you still have about 90% of the female population and only about 60 to 65% of the male population. Suddenly, big shift in supply and demand. There's still a high demand for women, right? But what is it that women are looking for in male attention? So if all the dudes who are simping after OnlyFans girls, if all the dudes who are thirstily liking all her Instagram photos say like, well, fuck it. I can literally just download her Instagram photo, screenshot that shit, put it into the AI, and then have it do a fun striptease for me. Like, why would I pay attention to your Instagram anymore? Why would I pay for your fucking OnlyFans? Why would I simp after you if I can get an AI to do everything that I want and it's nicer to me? They're gone. They're out. So all of that attention that the girls are getting now is going to evaporate. It's going to be gone because the top 60% of men are not the ones who are funding the OnlyFans. They're not the ones who are sipping after the girls on Instagram. All that shit is going to dry up. Uh-oh. Because now there is a low supply of male attention and a high demand for it. Now, all of a sudden, the dating market has shifted, or rather will shift, as a result of this. You're pulling the foundation out of the men's side of it, out of the supply, or rather, in this particular case, the supply of attention, but also just the demand of men chase after women. You're going to see a massive shift here. And this is really good news because it's going to bring women's standards back to normal. Hopefully. Now, there's still going to be some girls out there who are like, you know, rolling around. They're 220 and they're like, I won't date a guy unless he's 6'6". And like, okay, cool. You're delusional. That's fun. Awesome. Have fun with that. You're going to be alone forever. Enjoy your cats or enjoy your AI boyfriend. But for the most part, it's going to bring people back down because they'll just realize they aren't getting anything. So, big shift in the actual supply and demand. But even better, guys overall don't know how to deal with women. They don't know now. Imagine how bad they're going to be whenever they're like 1 foot in the door and 1 foot out, 1 foot on the platform, 1 foot on the train with their AI girlfriend. And they're like, yeah, but I'll still dip my toes out there and I'll try with real girls every now and then. They're going to have virtually no social skills compared to people who have been learning and who have been practicing and actually talking to real people the whole time. This dating market imbalance is going to be a massive boon for those of you who actually watch these videos, who pay attention, who learn flirting, who learn charisma, who learn how to talk to people, how to have a good time with it, and how to enjoy all that. And most importantly, have them enjoy it too. Help them to have a great time with you. You're going to rule it. You're going to have anything you want. You already can have anything you want, but it's just going to be that much easier. It's going to be so much better. That's still a few years off, though. You're not going to see those downstream effects immediately. So, like I said, in the next year or two, you're going to see a lot of the companion apps, and then they're going to start connecting to the different devices and things like that. You're going to see that start to come out, and people start to just pull out of the dating market. But the after effects of the shift in the dating market economics, that is still going to be a few years afterwards. However, the good news is if you just surf that wave the whole way, all you're doing is going up while everybody else is fucking crashing and going down. So learn all this stuff now. Learn how to talk to people now. Learn how to flirt. Learn how to have these conversations. If maybe right now you're listening to this and you're thinking to yourself, shit, Jack's right. I need to figure this out now. But I don't even know where to start. I don't even know how to approach a girl. That's fine. All you have to do is if you click the link in the description below this right now, I'm going to give you literally a 4-line miracle script that you can take anywhere in the world. You use this 4-line script and it will get you a phone number and, most importantly, a date actually set up. It doesn't just get you a phone number that's going to lead nowhere. It gets you a phone number and a date set up. I have tested this 4-line script and I've had dozens of other guys in my community test this 4-line script all over the world and it fucking works. So if you want to know how to start actually meeting and approaching women now in a very, very low risk way so that you're guaranteed to succeed, all you have to do, click the link in the video, click the link in the description below the video right now, start the 48-hour, 2-day date dare, and you will be able to approach anyone. Now, as far as future implications go, well, shit's going to get weird. Shit's going to get really, really weird. The further down this rabbit hole we go, you're not going to know. There's a very good chance that people just stop using dating apps because you won't know if the person on the dating app is a real person or an AI bot or some fucking scam bot. Like they already have those, right? This is a bit of a wild prediction. I think that people will stop using dating apps as they are now. So in their current form, people will stop using them. And that's because you won't be able to tell if it's AI or a real person. They might develop a new app, which if anybody's listening and they're an app developer, this actually might be a pretty fucking fire idea. You might develop an app that's literally just who is in my immediate area, people only. And it only shows you people who have the app who are in your immediate area. And then you have some like limited number of messages, like 3 messages to set up a meeting place or something like that, so that you can only talk to real people. There's no point in having an AI chatbot or some scam bot or some shit like that if it's 3 messages max, right? So dating apps as they currently exist, probably going to be gone. Anybody who just wants to talk, just text with somebody, they use these. And anybody who wants to meet in person will either find somebody in person or they'll use other apps. As far as other dating changes go, social implications are far-reaching, like massive. I still hear some people saying that we have an overpopulation problem in the world. Not even close. We have a massive underpopulation problem in the world. It's insane. Places like South Korea is the worst in the world. Like, not even a close second place. But South Korea, Japan, even other places across Europe as well. And now North America too. We're not replacing ourselves. We're going to pull even further away from that with all this shit. Huge social implications for that. Huge societal implications. And nothing you can really do because there's money to be made. So people are going to go for it. There are a million other things that are going on here that AI and especially AI girlfriends and chatbots and shit like this are going to change. Some of them for the better, some of them for the worst, probably mostly for the worst. But that is for us to talk about in a future episode because right now we're about to go ahead and finish up today's lesson and get to the very best part of it, which is our live chat with our friends. However, before we do that, I'm going to say goodbye to you lovely lads and lasses over there on Instagram. I'm going to cut you out, so I'll see you fuckers next time. Bye-bye. In video. And I'll bring you guys down here. Let's bring old Jujubee in. How you doing, big fella?
Pretty good. Yourself?
Oh, I'm just fucking beautiful. Oh, there he is. Sierra, someone's done their research into these gadgets. I haven't, but just from an economic point of view alone, I can't imagine why they wouldn't exist that way, you know? Oh, all right. Move the board over. Okay. How are you doing, man?
Pretty good, man. Just here. I took a huge nap earlier today, and yeah, feeling way better because I slept so badly last night.
Why? Something happened?
Yeah. Sometimes when I exercise a lot and I do deadlifts and squats, I'll get like this huge adrenaline rush, and it won't go away till like 5 a.m. So
Oh,
I went,
Jesus.
yeah. So I went and walked for 2 hours to get rid of it and run. It didn't help much, so I went to sleep at 3 a.m. instead. So I've been exhausted all day, but I feel better now.
Okay, well, right on, dude. Right
Yep.
on. You know what? You know what I really think it was? I think that everything just felt a little bit off because we didn't have our normal Thursday live stream.
I think so. Yeah,
So-
that's absolutely it. I think it was just like I was just like my dad whenever we would play video games in the living room TV that he uses, he would just wander aimlessly. Like I was wandering aimlessly. So yeah, no, it's up. Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Yep.
So, what do you think about AI girlfriends and all this shit?
Dude, I was frightened when people were in the group chat in Discord asking about it non-ironically.
Yeah.
Right. So I thought at first they were kind of joking, and nothing against the people asking about it because whatever. But to me, AI girlfriends are a sign of just times changing very quickly because the tech is improving just so quickly. I never would have thought that we would have gotten to a point where we would have like virtual girlfriends. I remember seeing this stuff ages ago when the Nintendo DS was still a thing, of this Japanese guy who was dating his virtual girlfriend. Everyone
His
laughed.
waifu, yeah.
Yeah, his wife and all this stuff. And he would be like on a swing set with her, and his DS girlfriend would be like right next to him, the other one. And we were all going like, God, what a dork. Oh my God, Matt, look at this guy. Now people in our chat are asking about AI girlfriends. That's frightening because now like online dating was in the 90s and 2000s where it was for like nerds and dorks and weirdos and serial killers. Today it's my brother met his girlfriend or his wife on Tinder, right? So everybody's doing it. I'm just afraid that AI will become that thing with dating, that it'll be like the new normal, right?
Well, right. And so that is one of the biggest fears and concerns with it, except unlike online dating, it's simply a dead end. Where like online dating was to the normal dating world essentially just like a fucking choke point, like a funnel, right? And it choked out most people, but then some people were able to succeed excellently on it.
Oh yeah.
But
at least there's something to gain from online dating, as you said. Like,
right.
you talk to people, you learn how to, game online. You could talk to people. You meet them, you fuck them, you date, you get married, whatever. I think AI girlfriends, there's literally nothing to gain from there. As you mentioned, I liked how you kept talking about the socialization aspect of it. At least with online dating, you learn how to talk to people, even if it's just online. Like you said, saying IRL, LOL, people actually speak. I think it's retarded, but and with an AI girlfriend, you don't gain anything because it's like, I don't know if you've seen that movie, Coming to America.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy.
You have the prince, right, the future king, and like he has these servant girls who are just there for his beck and call, who just adjust themselves and their personalities to him and at his whim, and he doesn't like that. Guys don't like that. Don't do that. He flew all the way to America in the movie to get away from that, right?
Yeah.
Don't let your phone do that for you. Don't fall in love with your phones, guys. There was also another movie I watched called Blade Runner 2049, where the main character similarly has like this AI virtual girlfriend, and she'll keep asking, "Is this okay? Is this how you like it? Tell me what you want." And he'll say, "No, do this, that." The AI is just there to learn and adjust to you and what you like, and to reassure so much about you. Well, none of it really having any substance. A real woman would challenge you and tell you, "Hey, cut that shit out," or "Hey, do this, do it like that." Some of these ideas are retarded. What's wrong with you? Or, "Hey, good shit." If you have somebody just telling you good the whole time, and if it's just adjusting to you like it did to the main character in Blade Runner, what good is that? Isn't that just weird? I mean,
and that's the thing, is that like no matter what feedback you're getting from a girl, it feels real. Now, it might not be real. Like,
or you might not even agree with it. But the whole point is that there's something human there. The
yeah,
fact that you don't have this yes woman, catering to every whim and opinion of yours. With the AI, it's just kind of like, it's so artificial. It's so
yeah,
fake. It really is the A in AI, right? It's
yeah.
not very intelligent, if you ask me. It's just, I mean, just a
Well, and it's
piece of
not.
tech.
Like, that's the thing, is that you can even ask it. It's not intelligent. It literally just predicts what is the most likely next word to be said here. That's all that it is.
It's not thinking. It's
Right.
just you're talking to a prompt, right?
Ooh.
That's all you're doing, and its prompt responds accurately and to a great degree of a humanness to
It
it, right?
feels like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
feels, maybe can detect a few weirdnesses here and there, but it's not a person, right? It's a command. It's a glorified command prompt.
Yeah.
You wouldn't fall in love with a Google Translate or Google search
Well,
or
right. But here's the like, have you used any of the voice features on it?
no.
Okay.
As far as Chat GPT goes, I just use it to write insults about people using my and to sell my favorite authors.
Okay. All right. So you can use the voice feature on it and you just have a conversation back and forth. You talk and then it responds to you in a voice, not just on text, right? And it it feels realistic. It
Right.
doesn't feel real, but it feels realistic, if that makes sense at all.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
you feel like you're having a conversation, even though you know you're not. Like, it's a weird facsimile. But here's the thing, is that if you were so starved for connection, if you were so starved for any sort of attention or just positivity at all, then it's going to destroy you, because it's going to be so addictive. It's
Yeah.
going to be the only
Oh
thing
yeah.
you want to do, because it's
It's no
going to hit
different
your
than
dopamine.
porn. It's no different than porn,
Right.
right? It's something that's just so addicting, and so unrealistic too. That instead of using this sexuality and conveying it and sharing it with your girlfriend or whoever, you're using it on yourself with this virtual image, and so it really just takes a lot of stuff out. And of course you get addicted to that, right? Like, it's nice, it feels nice, but there's nothing there.
Right.
The AI similarly, it while it's not sexual per se, it gives you that feeling of being appreciated that I think a lot of men long for, some hippos, as you said. But yeah, it's extremely dangerous. I mean, like, what's a video game? Mass Effect 3. Remember when Joker, he falls in love with the AI of the ship?
Yeah.
It's in the body of like a really, admittedly very attractive, robot, but it's still just a robot. It's still just an AI. There's just nothing there. It adjusts to him. And in the game, you're just kind of like, what the hell's wrong with this guy? I mean, I understand he's like all creepy, but I just can't believe that we made it to that point, 2024, right?
Yeah.
And
We're
that game
here.
is 2100, 2150, and it's like, with tech from like 1,000 years from now, because they discovered this amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my God, and we're there now, so it's freaky.
Did you ever see the movie Her with Joaquin Phoenix?
Yeah, that piece of shit. Yeah, but I know, but the idea is still there, right? He falls in love with an AI.
Yeah.
Oh God, so bad.
But-
I'm like, Joker to this.
But conceptually there,
Yeah.
though, like, it's just that people will, like, this is an inevitability. There are already, like, right now, there are people who, so maybe, I don't know, a year ago or so, I kind of started talking about this some. And so I downloaded the app, the Replica app, to try it out so that I could tell you guys about it. And it was, I could feel it affecting me. right? Because the first thing you do is you design what your little avatar person is going to look like. And so you design it to your taste, right? And you get this, like I designed a cute little girl, and she was like in this nice little sundress, and like this whole thing. You design it, and then you choose the right voice for her, and then you just start talking to it, and she talks back, and you have these little conversations. And the app was, honestly, it was pretty garbage once you got past the first, like, because the first 30 minutes, it's impressive.
Yeah.
But then once you start actually seeing the limitations on it,
It's
you're
fun.
like, oh, you can't.
It's one of those games where like the creative character is more fun than the game itself.
Yeah, but still, though, like I could feel myself being like, if I were bored and lonely, I would definitely start to like get deeper into this, and you can feel yourself. It hits the same receptors in your brain that talking to a real person and getting positive interaction.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't disagree with that. Yeah, I mean, like, and you're a married guy, and I have my girlfriend. No, and for us to feel this way, that's the scary part. That if now imagine a guy who's far more lonely and vulnerable. That's
exactly
the scary part. And you're already seeing in societies across the United States, Germany, the UK, Japan, and Korea. What do they call them? The hikikomori in Japan. These men who just completely withdraw. The MGTOWs of Japan, although for decidedly different reasons. But these guys could just as easily, instead of just going into groups like this one or forcing themselves out and putting themselves out there to become better versions of themselves and talking to women or whatever, they just pay $9.99 a month for an AI model that'll just similarly give them these needs.
Yeah, and I mean, like,
far-reaching implications here. I think scary.
Did somebody join in?
I know. I don't see anything.
I heard.
No.
Yeah. Barish, what's up,
guys?
I'm good. Welcome to the party. So we're sitting here talking about the implications of AI companion apps and AI girlfriends.
Yeah, I saw it just on Instagram. That's a great topic. Where have you guys?
Oh yeah, I saw you joined in there, and then I kicked Instagram off because I'm not dealing with moving the camera over. Anyway, fuck, what were you saying? The people who
there are guys, Barish, that who are all across the world in the developed world who have withdrawn and kind of MGTOW, men who go their own way and such. Okay. And instead of just like trying to meet girls and improve themselves and join groups like these and whatever, they could just turn to these AI apps that'll still give them the same comfort, falling in love with these basically glorified command prompts and such that fill these needs. I'm saying that they have far-reaching implications in the future.
Oh yeah, for sure, because you don't really know how to hold a decent conversation if you're like here all the time,
Yeah, sure,
right.
Sure.
Well, and so that's actually something that I mentioned earlier, in that I don't think I went deep enough into this. Is that it's a natural devolution. Is that before, and I know I'm gonna sound like a fucking old man yelling at the clouds and shit, but there was a time before like AOL Instant Messenger and shit like that, where if you wanted to talk to somebody, you had to either meet them in person or call them on the phone, but that was still very limited, right? And so you had to have the ability to carry on conversations with people in the real world. And then it went into online messengers, and then that went into phone messengers, and now, right, like, and this has been the case for about the last 10 years or so, if you try to call, like actually just phone call a Zoomer, or God forbid a Gen Alpha, right, they get anxious and they're like, oh my God, what is this? Is this an emergency? What's going on? Because a phone call is unnatural. Why don't you just fucking text me like a normal person? They're uncomfortable with even a phone call. And that's only getting worse and worse and worse. Now you're at a point where most people, not everybody, obviously, but most people are used to all information being delivered to them in 60 seconds or less on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube Shorts or whatever it is that you choose. And they can't have conversations.
Yeah,
right?
good point. Julius had a good point when he said like there are people who are trying to get into these groups,
Yeah,
but then they don't really go through the pain, right? You have to be willing to accept a certain pain,
of course.
especially if you're really into the girl and you get rejected, and you have to like say, okay, let's put that in context. You know, I could get rejected in tons of stuff in my life. This is one of many rejections. I could get rejected from a job application, from, I don't know, I don't want a credit, I want to buy this, I want to, whatever kind of rejection. So in the moment, I really like this. In the moment, you think it's the storm of your life, fuck, but later you realize it was just a cold shower. You got rejected from one person in your lifespan. I don't know, I got rejected more than 200-300 times. It's just a little sting, and it goes away tomorrow. You're like, okay, that was whatever. But I keep going. That's the key point.
I like that analogy. You think it's the storm of a lifetime, but it's just a cold shower. You're gonna be fine.
Oh yeah, no, it's brilliant. I mean, it's, at the time you think it's just the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
Totally.
But then you look back on it, you even laugh about it, right? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, and I think these AI apps they really take away from that opportunity of learning.
Yeah, bro. Totally.
Yeah, we were talking about like online dating from like the late 90s, early 2000s. I'm sure because you're like around our age, and in Europe you guys have the same stuff. Like,
yeah.
At the time, you guys, was there kind of like a stigma with online dating?
Wow.
At that time, I don't know if you remember.
No, I do. I think like because there were like no iPhones back then.
Yeah.
There was no there was a certain stigma around online dating, but I think it was not. I mean, now even if you just look at messenger apps, right? I think the very first messenger app was WhatsApp, right? If you do remember, like that was the very first. But now I have like 5 different messenger apps on my phone. So I think with the digital age, now it's really booming. I mean, we have like all these apps that you can use, but I don't know. In Germany, it wasn't that much of a thing. How was it back with you? Like, was there something about that, or wasn't it that much?
I mean, like, I'm glad you brought up the whole digital age thing, because like now we snap a selfie and we send it instantly, right? Like it's a thing. But at the time, digital cameras weren't really a thing, and much less smartphones, right?
Right.
And so, you'd meet people in this chat room or online on a dial-up modem, and you would get to talking to them. So it was just really weird, right? Yeah, it was like Russian roulette. Like, oh, well, maybe this one's good. Oh no, she's a whale. I'm gonna get rid of that one. Or this one's pretty. Oh wait, no, she's not. She's like this. And when she showed me this, it's actually like this. So there was a big stigma around it, because it was like, wait, what? You could do that? You could meet people online. You could date them, and so for a while it was just considered very strange. And I'm just kind of comparing the AI dating stuff to how we used to feel that, and potentially how like online dating has now become the norm, where most people meet their significant others online. Having an AI virtual girlfriend will be kind of normalized in a sense.
Very good point. Very good point.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Very, very, very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah.
But why wouldn't it be, right? Like right now, nobody thinks that you're weird if you talk to Siri. Nobody thinks that you're weird if you have conversations with ChatGPT.
I mean, it's already bad enough when we have guys tipping OnlyFans girls, guys buying bathwater from Twitch streamers.
Oh my
guys,
God, they're gonna start tipping it, aren't they? Oh fuck!
Now, if you have these men, low-hanging fruit who donate money and tip money to their favorite, Twitch streaming girls, gamer girls, what if they have this personalized AI? Like you said, they download pictures of their favorite, streamer, create this digital version of her,
Okay, so on exactly that point, right now, there are people who do live streams on Twitch and on YouTube and things like that, but they have an AI created avatar of themselves.
All right.
So like maybe you've seen this sometimes, but they'll put it on. They'll be like an anime-ish avatar that as they move, the thing moves with them,
Mm.
Yeah.
and it comes through in a voice that they choose, right? So voice changers, people fucking simp for that stuff all day long. I could be doing that,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
literally, I can do that, and it's going to look like this cute little anime bubbly titties up AI chick. But
It's
if
a
you
good
do
guy.
that now, how long until you can just remove the person from it? And be
Yeah.
like, yeah, just let this thing hit play, and it'll just go all day long, and people will sit there and just fucking tip money at it, and they're like,
Oh yeah.
"Oh, it's cute little cartoon boobies, right? Yeah, right."
I remember there was 2 instances. I think one dude was from China and the
Yeah.
other dude was Japanese. A Chinese dude, like
I think it wasn't a dude, right?
yeah, the filter messed up and it was like some 30-something-year-old guy. And
Yeah.
then Japan, this Japanese, this 50-something-year-old guy, he was doing like a motorcycle trip up and down Japan, and he would rely on the stream views and the tips to fund his journey. And one time, like his thing messed up, and it exposed him. Instead of being a 20-something-year-old Tokyo girl, he was like some 50-year-old dude. So, like it's already happening. It's already happening.
Mm.
Right. But what
Deepfake
I'm
is
saying
already
is that
happening.
you're not far off from actually removing the need for the person at all.
Mm.
Mhm.
So like it's not even a mask anymore.
No.
Because if you can train an AI to act like you, which you can right now, like I can train an AI on my writing, and it can write things in my style. I can train an AI on my voice, and it can speak like my voice and in my style. Then how far until we just like, all right, fuck it, press play. All right, guys, here's your weekly live stream, but you don't even know if I'm here or not, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
Or if it's just the AI version of me. Now, just so that we're clear, this isn't an AI thing. You can tell because my set is still real. I still got the monkey with the hole in its butt. So if you're ever not sure if I'm AI, ask to see the monkey's butthole.
Just to be sure. Okay.
That is pretty crazy. Yeah, no, it's getting pretty scary, and I just implore all viewers now to stay as far away from that as possible because it's no good for you.
It's going to be tempting. There are going to be nights when you're lonely and maybe you struck out at the bar and you're like, fuck it, I just want some positivity. I want somebody to talk to or whatever. Listen, call your grandmother. You haven't talked to her in too long anyway, right? Like, just take a cold shower with some grandma talk. Don't get onto these apps because they are, just like the dating apps, designed to suck you in and never let go.
Mm. The sucking part was interesting, but the other part is not good. Yeah. Sorry just to say that.
No, it's true.
Sorry, it's like my ears perked up.
I just woke up. Yeah, wait a second. No, man, you're right. You're right, man. You're right. It's basically a business of
loneliness.
There's it's sort of like what's kind of effed up, that people, like, if you can solve a problem, you become sort of like rich in a way, right? And people notice, and I'm not blaming the country, but I'm blaming the epidemic, that since the epidemic, people got like locked down, right? And it even pushed more the online sector where people could say, hey, let's do apps for this, let's do apps for that, let's do apps for whatever fuck we want to do apps, let's do apps. Some of the stuff is good, right? I love the home delivery shit. Like, you can press a button and it's on your door the next day. If you're busy, you're coming in with an airport, hey, I want to cook tomorrow, order it the day before, just pick it up in front of your door. But some things I believe you still have to do in person. That is talking to a girl, that is I don't know, man,
Meeting friends.
Friends. Thanks for saying that. Yeah,
seriously, as fun as this is, and like, the three of us can sit and chat, it's nothing like a couple of weeks ago whenever we actually got together in person.
That was
like
That was
totally different dynamic. This is good, but it's not that good. It's not as good as actually meeting in person.
Meet in person.
Yeah.
good.
And I feel like, I don't know, it's for example, I like to have an AI version of me if I get sick or break my something, so I can just send him for 2 or 3 days. I get like a shot and I'm back, and then my boss is not that pissed that I couldn't come to work. That would be cool, that people who rely on my service. But then I feel like we
But then
shouldn't.
why wouldn't they replace you with a version
That's a
that
good
costs
question.
a lot less, right? Because if your
That's a very
AI version, if the AI version of you can do your job at, let's say, 90% capacity, right? It's not as good as the real thing, but it's 90% as good. But we literally only have to buy it once, and then we pay like a $20 a month subscription to keep it, whereas we have to pay Barish an actual fucking salary. So in that case, why would they keep you at all?
It's actually yeah, it's actually scary. It reminds you on like two movies come to mind, like Minority Report with like Tom Cruise, and iBot with Will Smith, where Will Smith has this computer, this AI
Yeah.
friend, and he had this incident with another AI, and Will Smith absolutely doesn't trust the AIs. But this AI starts learning, like, hey, what does this mean? Why did you just wink at him? And Will Smith says, you don't know what this means. You're just a robot, like F off and stuff. And then was it Minority Report where like Tom Cruise goes in and says, what are all these chambers for? And he says, yeah, some people, they imagine killing their boss. Others want to have sex as a woman. And you can simulate everything here. Where you're like, hey, man, we shouldn't touch this stuff. Like, we shouldn't really, like,
Yeah, the pre-crime stuff, like in Minority Report, that's
that was
really
all right.
wild. And I mean, the precursors to that are already happening, right? Like social credit scores. I know people say like, "Oh, China has a social credit score, and nobody else does. We are free." I'm like, "Fuck you! You're not free. Your government absolutely has a social credit score for you. You might not know it, but they do. If you think that your government doesn't see." Now, obviously, there's not like an individual person. You don't have an FBI agent assigned to you or any shit like that. It's all run through algorithms. Listen, if fucking Twitter, if YouTube has an algorithm that already knows what you like, do you think for even just a moment that YouTube has more access to algorithms than the fucking CIA and FBI do? Not even a chance, right? So of course they know more about you than Facebook.
But
right? They know more about you than YouTube or TikTok or anything else.
But you know what's interesting? What's really interesting? I heard this. There's this. You speaking of YouTube, there was this YouTuber who said he had his phone next to him, right?
Yeah.
As I do, and he was saying dog food again and again. He kept mentioning dog food and dog food and dog food, and he did not Google any dog food, right? He was just saying the word dog food, dog food, dog food. And after some while, dog food apps started popping up on Google and stuff. And I'm like, okay, I want to try this. I don't golf, but I said 30 times a day golf. I said golf. My friend said it back to me. I was on a Skype call. He said golf, 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 golf. Yeah, golf. I said stuff that is related to golf. I said, I need to get my golf gloves. I don't know if the green is good to play golf there. Sunday golf sounds good. Nothing came. Zero. I was logged in with my Gmail account, Facebook. I didn't have one ad. So, YouTube, some people do just flashy stuff to get like the clicks. So I always like to try it myself. I like to see, does this actually trigger? Nothing happened.
So
it would have been really scary if that was the case, but yeah, glad it's not real.
No.
Yeah. But I think that stuff is it's that you don't know yourself as well as these companies know you. They already know what types of things you watch at certain times of day. They know your habits of when you log on. And again, when I say they, it's not a person, right? It's the algorithm, it's the system. It's all filtered around like fucking pachinko balls that just go every which way.
That's a good.
But they know exactly where you are going to go, even though you don't. So if, like clockwork, you ordered new dog food every 2.5 weeks, but you don't realize it, like you don't have a schedule or anything. It's just that every 2.5 weeks or so you see like, oh shit, we're almost out of dog food, and then you order more. then of course, at about the 2-week mark, it's going to start feeding you dog food ads, right? And it's going to start feeding you those ads because even though you aren't consciously thinking about it, they already know your habits. They know what you're doing. Because
Yeah,
of
it's
course,
like
all these apps are connected. They all sell your data because why wouldn't they? Right?
It's like when you're looking up, flights or something, and then
Sure.
like you start getting specials and deals in your
Yeah,
views.
man.
You're like, whoa, what a minute. Wait a minute, like this is fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's right.
And like going to the social credit thing, like I know that China has it, like they rank their citizens and such. But we also kind of have a quasi form of it in the form of like, oh well, this guy only has 80 followers on Instagram. He's a fucking dork. Or he doesn't have a Facebook. What a boomer. Or he's using X. He's way out there. Or a Tumblr. Oh my God, what a wiener. Like we kind of rate each other on these things, right?
Of course.
Yeah. Like if a guy tells me, oh, I have a business here in Korea, blah 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 blah, and I look at his social media and he's got 10 followers, I'm gonna be, naturally, and I've been programmed this way. I go, you dork! No, you're talking out of your ass. Get the hell out of my face. But
yeah, well, my favorite is. My favorite is I'm the CEO. I'm like, what? You are? Yeah. And who are people? Like CEO of what? Of my company. All right. I am the CEO. Oh, yeah. And me, myself, and I. Bro, you're the CEO of, I don't know, I'm the CEO of my bathroom. Does this count as well? Or
so I really get annoyed whenever I see people say that, or like they have like business cards and it's like, I'm the CEO of Jack North Coaching. And it's like, no, you're not. That is actually a very specific term.
You're the specialist of that.
A C-suite business. Like there's a C class of corporation that has those titles. But if you're one person, then you're either a sole proprietorship, which is most likely, or maybe you've actually incorporated, because you can incorporate yourself in your business. You can have an LLC, but you're still not a CEO. You're just an owner, right? And so I don't ever tell anybody I'm the CEO or I'm the president of Jack North Coaching. I'm just like, I don't even have to say I'm the owner. Like, it's my fucking name.
We were fucking weird.
Good point.
I think it's funny. I remember I was meeting these girls with Paul. Mm-hmm. We were talking, and there were these two sisters. And one was bragging about the other one because she had 1,000 followers on Instagram. And then the girl, the other one that had 1,000 followers, she was looking at me like she was, Kate Middleton, the Princess of England. She was like this. I'm like, who cares? And then Paul and I were just kind of looking at him like,
are you okay?
Is this supposed to impress me? Your electronic friend counter? Does this mean anything to anybody else?
I love the way he did the eyebrows.
Yeah. I was like the suspicious dachshund. I was like, like what? I don't know. It's just weird times we live in,
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like I think the other day when Jack said you open up Instagram, you just look at the first stuff and then you close it. I feel, like it's good to have it, but it's like not. It's not that cool. The idea of Instagram is just this hip place where everybody's always happy and hangs out, but that's just not life. Back to the AI girlfriend. Like a lot of OnlyFans account are managed by guys.
Of course. Yeah. They're virtual pimps.
Another guy, what a guy would like to hear. and that makes sense from a business point of view, because who knows better? Like a lion knows how a lion hunts. So just take a guy and say, hey, here are the top 10 selfies in bikinis and wet thing. Just when he donates, send them to and say, hey, James, you're really hot and thanks so much. And
of course.
Yeah.
If you're ever texting with an OnlyFans girl, or even with like those Instagram models or something like that, if you're ever texting with them, you're absolutely texting a dude. 100%. Girl's not doing that shit. No. Because there are better uses of her time than to chat with you for, like your $5 a month subscription or whatever the fuck it is you're paying, right?
Mm.
Yeah, it's completely true. It's
Mm.
110% true. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
But the thing is, like, I just wonder, like, I'd like to have the chance to talk to one of these. I mean, I'm also quite digital. Like, I have like my DSLR is here. Then I have this other mic thing here. Like, I have smart devices all over me. But then these people who have these AI girlfriends, I wonder, like, what does he get out of it? Like, because he can't meet them. I mean, he gets an instant answer, but what is the thing he does this for? Like, I'd like to know. Aren't you aware you pay for her, or you pay for this? Like, do you know you're kind of in a computer game?
Yeah.
Are you
Okay.
aware of this? I'd like to ask him, do you know this is, I mean,
So of course they know, like they're aware,
mm,
but
I bought
mean,
Cyberpunk. Sorry to throw this in. I bought Cyberpunk 2027. It was on sale.
Yeah.
Horrible critiques. Don't buy this crap. This shit. I said, whatever. I can afford to lose $20.
It's awesome.
It's awesome.
Cyberpunk.
Really good.
Right?
It's really good. But I know nobody
It's right now.
Huh?
Yeah.
Right now, yeah. No, it's good. Very good.
Yeah.
But I know this is not real. I know it's a game while I sit on my couch and shoot some people.
Right. Okay.
Bites, but do these
So
people
if
know?
you can pay, I mean, let's say that you bought it at full price, right? If you can pay $60 to have fake fun, simulated fun,
Mhm.
as in like, oh, I'm going to fake places. I know they're fake, but I'm going to fake places. I'm looking around from a fake point of view. I'm shooting fake people with fake guns. I'm doing all this stuff. I'm having fake conversations with fake people that I enjoy, right? There are characters in that story who you enjoy talking to, you enjoy hearing from.
Mm.
Okay, it's not a big step from that
Nah.
to I'm having a fake
That's true.
conversation with a fake person that I enjoy. It gives me dopamine hits. It gives me brain pleasure to have this conversation. I know it's fake. I know, but it makes me feel good.
Mm.
And here's the thing, let's level it up a bit because they're calling me by my name. They're responding directly to what I say. In Cyberpunk, I only have 3-4 dialogue options in whatever conversation I have, right? I only have 3 or 4 dialogue options. Here, I can say anything I want. I can say, hey, AI girlfriend, do you think that I might look better if I grew my hair out longer? And AI girlfriend will respond. And here's the other fun part is that AI girlfriend is never negative. AI girlfriend might say something like, you know what? I think it would be interesting to try. You might look great. If you'd like, I can create an image of you with longer hair so that we can see together. But also, if you don't want to, it's fine. I think you look great now. AI girlfriend is going to hit every one of those dopamine receptors in my brain. So why wouldn't somebody
want to do that? Yeah.
want to do that? Right?
I mean, yeah, it's like, for instance, I play this game, Mass Effect.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you romance people in Mass Effect.
Oh yeah, and
You
the
have
thing
fake
is,
sex with fake aliens and fake
exactly.
Effect,
You
right?
create it, and you feel so much for these characters. They feel like they're your real friends and such. And this is just like within the limited dialogue options that you get.
Who's your favorite Mass
They
Effect
don't even
waifu?
call your name. They call you. Sorry,
Who's your favorite Mass Effect waifu?
Tally.
Tally?
So yeah.
I like Tally, but I'm Liara myself.
Oh yeah, no, she's good too. I cheated on her in a few ones.
I fake cheated on my fake alien girlfriend with another fake alien. Like,
I remember, like in one run,
like we're only that far off.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like, if you feel that way, and we're normal guys who spent whatever money on this game, and we cared for these characters like millions of other guys have, how about an AI that is specifically catered to just you and your responses? It only gives you positive feedback and positive responses, and never says a bad thing about you.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, there's a big market for that, and I
Right.
think it's unfortunate.
I mean,
It might be. I like to add, you both of you guys are right, but it might come from people wanting to be comfortable all the time, people wanting to feel like fluffy and warm all the time. But
Sure.
disappointment is one part of human interactions. That's just the loss is inevitable. We all lose at some point. Like what goes up, like the relationship is super fluffy and good, and then it just will gradually come down. Then it's when you need to like actively put something in the relationship other than this put in there. You need to put make something new, right? Our brains, like they seek for novelty. Make something new,
Yeah.
make something that surprises her. And you know, it's so interesting that even the richest people, the strongest people, they climb that mountain just to see, fuck, I have to walk the whole way down. You know, it's never you. It feel like you basically never arrive, but you need to sort of like thrive and enjoy the journey of saying, I think it's painful and it sucks, but I'm having fun. So whatever I'm doing, it could be for you gymming, it could be painting, it could be cooking, it could be meeting up with cool friends, it could be. I see more and more the journey is actually the goal. It's not getting the girl or being with her all the time 24/7, but figuring out, okay, it's interesting, like this is not going well. Let's suggest this. Let's talk to my friends or anything. But I feel the skill, back to what Jack said before, this skill gets like weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker because the AI girlfriend is saying to me all the time what I want to hear.
right.
And I'm not awesome all the time. Nobody is.
Yeah.
So-
Sorry, you guys, I talk too much. Yeah.
No, you're fine. That was good. Jack, go ahead.
I agree with you entirely, but I think that I'm going to alter the frame a little bit here. And I'm going to say this is true for most people, but it's definitely and especially true for men, is that we climb the mountain because the mountain is there. But once we climb the mountain, we say, okay, cool. Where's the next tallest mountain, right? Like, I want to climb one that's even taller than this. Yes, I'm going through this challenge, these trials, these tribulations right now because I need to achieve this goal. Whatever the fuck that goal is, it doesn't matter. Whatever your mountain is right now, you're going to climb that mountain and you're going to struggle to do it. And when you achieve it, you're going to feel great. And then you're going to find the next mountain that's even taller than this one. And that is such an important part of not just human nature, but especially of being a man. If you manage to put yourself on a fucking plateau, like the AI girlfriend thing, you're never going to feel anything. It's going to feel good at first, but you're never going to feel anything. To exactly this point, I had a guy, a client of mine, a current client. And by the way, this is, for those of you who are in the community, maybe you've seen him in the Discord, maybe not. I don't know. He doesn't talk much, but it doesn't matter. Client of mine, about 2 months ago, started working with me. And at the time, he is in his mid-40s, had never had any experience with women. He'd had a couple of first dates, but that's it. And it never went anywhere beyond that. And so his goal, his mountain when we started was to get a second date.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried telling him, I was like, okay, I hear you. Yes, I see that that's our current mountain, but I would like to plan a little bit further out because once you hit that, once you reach that peak, that goal right now, you're going to want to achieve the next one and then the next one and the next one. And he was like, no, Jack, listen, this is all that I need. And then I'll be happy. Then I'll be satisfied. And I was like, okay, fine. I'll help you do that. We'll do that thing. And then we did that thing. And guess what? we needed to climb the next mountain. We needed to climb the next mountain. Now, this guy has been a monumental success because in 2 months of working together, not only did he get a second date, but he got a girlfriend, lost his V card, and it's still continuing on. I'm like, all right, cool.
Beautiful. Love it.
I know. Like, listen, sometimes I'm amazed by the results that I get as well. I'm like, dang man, I wasn't sure I was
I
going to
like the
figure this one out.
self-plug.
Yeah, right.
Well, but also like I'm not reporting for my sake. I'm definitely reporting for my client's sake because he got over and above whatever he thought. But that's because we knew that one mountain leads to the next mountain, leads to the next mountain, leads to the next mountain. And of course it does. Because why wouldn't it? If there was a mountain that you could climb it and then you could just stop, then people would just do that thing, right?
Yeah.
And I'm done. I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah, you would just do that.
And yeah. Caesar. Sorry, Julius. What were
Oh
your?
no! I mean,
Right.
mine isn't going to be nearly as detailed or anything, but the way I see, or as smart, but the way I see this AI stuff, and a lot of guys, they remind me because it's like comforting, whatever. The same ones who do this stuff and pay for it, they remind me of a friend of mine, a really good friend of mine. I have, I think Jack met him like 10 years ago or so, and this guy. He never dated. He never had a girlfriend. Never really did anything. It's not that he couldn't, because he would go out and he would do things, but he just loved his hookers. He just loved them. And his thing was what? It was, why would I date women? Why would I go at them? Why would I go on Tinder? Why would I wine and dine them just to go home and jerk off to whatever porn I have, when I could just get it over with, pay the same amount of money, and get the fun I want?
Plausible argument.
So, yeah, so he would just kind of cut to the chase with these women he would pay for, and that's, I think, what this AI stuff is, or online dating, or whatever you want to call it. It's not the sex, but it is the comforting part. It's similar to how, like, the men you see here, it's the stupidest thing that Korean and Japanese men do, where they go to like these whiskey bars and they pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to talk to women, and it goes nowhere.
You're right, bro.
And they know it's going to go nowhere.
They know it. They know, and they pay so much money. And the same whiskey bar girls, a lot of them, some of them are our friends, and they go, "Oh wow, these guys are so freaking weird. They don't know how to carry a conversation. I have to force it so much. I have a backup. I have another phone with a different phone number that my job pays for, that I have to talk to them on because I can't give them this. You guys talk so much normally. You know how to carry a conversation." Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's the human version of that. Yeah. So, I mean, that's basically what they're paying for, just with the fun part, which is just drinking, I suppose. But I don't know. This is a thing that I never understood about Asian culture, where people pay to hang out with girls, and they spend so much money on this.
Yeah, so, I feel you. I heard that too, man. I heard that.
Yeah,
too.
And it's not just like random, just stupid college kids or whatever. This is like corporate men. And I had this ex-girlfriend who used to work for Samsung. Jack met her, and she would tell me that her colleagues, these are guys who would earn six figures here in Korea, had the most prestigious work that you could have. And what would they do after work? After engineering the COVID vaccine, they would go and talk to these juicy girls and spend thousands. I'm like, you morons, what is wrong with you guys? Like, you bought a Tesla with Bitcoin, but at the same time, you're doing this stupid shit. Like, what are you doing?
So I think if I'm going to try and get into that mindset, I think that it comes from the idea of, like,
Bless you.
What if I could just talk to girls, but I didn't have any pressure of I need to do something, and I didn't have any expectation of I'm going to take you, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to lead the conversation. What if I got to put all the work on her, but I still got to have the fun of talking to girls? And importantly, I'm able to do this, and it's not cheating at all. But if I went on a date with a girl from Tinder, even if I didn't do anything, it would still be kind of cheating, right? Yeah. So I think that there is a reason for this market to exist. And here's a fun fact for you. In Japan, the same market exists for women too. That one never made it over to Korea. We don't have the male juicy bars.
I thought that's what hoppas were.
Do they have them here?
Yeah, they're called hoppas. So it's like
really
ho bar, right? Hoppa.
Yeah,
that's what they are, like male bars. Yeah, you should do it. I was jokingly
I'll do
told
that.
my female friend to go to one so I could, because I'd make a lot of money. This is back in my time.
Dude, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they had them here.
Yeah, yeah. Now, not to the same extent,
Right.
Where women in Japan throw away marriages and possibly careers to be with these guys with blonde hair, but it's a thing. As a matter of fact, I think it's worse with women in Japan than it is with men here because
Well, and if they get addicted to it, God
Oh,
help
yeah.
them,
Dude,
right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right. I recall seeing this documentary where her face was blurred, but was one girl was sitting there, and that guy, that let's call him Japanese Hoppa, he was like holding his microphone. He was saying, my princess," and she was buying like these Dom Perignon bottles for like $400 one, and she was getting like 2 or 3 at a time because,
Holy shit.
and I don't know, man, it feels there is something. If you're on a date with a girl and it's very financial, she says, it's I don't mind paying for it, right? I don't mind paying for the food and stuff if the conversation goes great and we already like connected at some point. But if it's all the financial stuff gets wheeled over on me, I feel like somehow it feels like I'm paying for your time, which isn't my time as valuable, That's the question in the room. So I feel my theory is with these guys, with these super jobs, buying this car with Bitcoin and then going and sitting there spending X amount of dollars just to talk to someone. I feel like it's a domesticated strip club. What do you guys think?
I completely agree. Actually, this guy, he bought a house with Bitcoin, not a car. So
wow,
I got to correct myself on that.
Holy shit.
But I've seen this all across the economic strata from when I was living in the countryside to out here in Seoul or nearby Seoul, where men would just kind of spend just stupid amounts of money to basically get an enjoyment from women. But as you said, in the sense that you with strippers, it's more carnal and physical, whereas with these women, it's more emotional. It's very strange, and it's so strange. I never understood it, and I have Solana. She works in that. That's what she does. I have another friend who works in that. My ex used to work in that. She was a Tinder match of mine. It's just crazy what happens.
Wow, bro, you have like untold stories, Julius.
Oh yeah, of course.
So,
look, you get a call, right? I'm in this whiskey hostess bar. I get a call from anyone. Hey, where are you? I'm here with like Papa Jack and Julius. We're drinking whiskey. Oh, that's fine. Did I lie? No.
Yeah.
But when I say, well, I'm here in the whiskey bar, but I'm at a strip club actually.
Well, she can tell because fucking Eminem and T-Pain are somehow still playing 20 years later.
Oh, Jesus. I remember I went to a strip club in Mexico and they were playing some song. I don't know the name of it, but it's like Rocket Like a Hurricane. Like,
yeah, I think that's Twisted Sister. Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, there you go. And I was like, wow, 80s hair metal in the 2000s. And I mean, I believe it's 20 years later,
Yeah, absolutely.
It's been about 20 years since T-Pain and Eminem.
Or like Def Leppard and like, pour some sugar on me. There's no strip club in the world that doesn't play that song at least 5 times a night.
Oh, of course.
So regarding I do think that there is a difference between the hostess bars and the AI girlfriends. And I think that the hostess bars fill a different niche because they fill in a place where, first of all, a place where guys can just go and you can just be guys, right? You're not putting on airs. You're not trying to impress anyone. It doesn't matter. The girls don't have to like you. They're fucking paid to like you. They're going to hang out. They're going to enjoy their time. They're going to talk to you. They're going to laugh at all your jokes, whatever else. Doesn't matter about the rest, right? But you can just feel comfortable. And it's not about necessarily going there alone, although some people could go there alone. But a lot of people will go there with a group of people like they would to a strip club, except it's not quite as fucking dirty as a strip club.
Oh yeah, no,
Like,
strip
I would
clubs are
never want to have a
disgusting.
business meeting in a strip club, but you can have business meetings in the hostess bars.
Sure.
And a lot of people do. Is what they'll do is after they have some meeting or they close some big deal, then they'll take their clients out for, $300 bottles of Jack Daniels or some shit at the hostess bars, and like, okay, cool, that's fine. You're paying a bit for exclusivity, you're paying a bit for the quiet, and you're paying a bit for the good company as well. And everybody just feels good and has a nice time. I do think that there is a reason for those things to exist that isn't quite so obvious to me with the AI girlfriends. I mean, obviously, I understand why those exist and why they will be popular and all that, but I think that it's a different reason and it's a different niche entirely.
Very true. Like it's even interesting, like how I was just curious, where was like the root of all this. I Googled, even actually, I wanted to get a hormone check. And I talked to a doctor, and he said, "Why did you come in today?" And I said, "Yeah, I'd like to just, you should like look at my blood, analyze." I said, "But you are healthy, or why did you come up with this?" And, "No, I'm good. Everything works." And he said, "Everything." He's like, "Everything works." I'm like, "Yeah, everything works." I said, "Sure, it's good."
Everything works.
Everything works. Yeah.
Yeah.
He said, "Let's save your money. Like, what is the real reason you came in for?" And then we talked about sex drive and stuff and blah. Like a little bit later, he said, prostitution. It's very interesting, like how prostitution started was, he said, way, way back, like thousands of years ago, there were like women that lived in temples, right? They were sort of like, parents gave that woman to the temple. And then even like the yogis, like this doctor told me, he was an Indian doctor who studied in Australia. He said, even the yogis and the people who meditation, even they feel the sex drive, he said. It's hard to suppress it. You can't suppress it forever. But they make it in a term of like a holy sex where they sort of like have sex with this temple girl, and then a child is born, but they always take care of that girl and that child forever because they're in the temple. And slowly from that, prostitution slowly kind of like was born, that was around India, Pakistan. It was the first notion of giving a body for an exchange of something. And that reminds me, now in 2024, you go somewhere to pay something for getting someone's company, or the AI girlfriend, you pay a $10 something for an AI to tell you how awesome you are. And but what I'm really interested in is who actually picks that service. Who, like, what type of history have these people? Are they just total gamers? Are they people who are busy? Are they people who don't want to go through the dating process? Who would willingly know this is not a real woman that I'm paying? This is just a code that is giving back to me what 1,000 guys want. That would be really interesting to know. Like he said, I never was good at this. I never was good at socializing. And then,
so,
yeah,
your last point there of this is just code that's giving back to me the same thing that thousands of guys want. That's also the same as an actual prostitute, right? We're like, it's the same everywhere. But there could be a million reasons for this, and I think it's going to be different for every guy. Like, of course, there are going to be some guys who are just like, look, real women hate me, so I'll just take the AI version instead, and that's fine, right? That's just where I am in life. I'm an herbivore, or I'm a kikimori or something like that. I'm one of the kikis, okay? And so like I'm just gonna nope out. Or there might be some guys who can get attention from women, but women just aren't fucking worth the trouble to them, right? If you have a mindset of women are only out to get you, and they're only out to steal your money, and they're only out for your resources and all this stuff, and on top of that, they also nag you and do all this other shit, then you might just be like, you know what? If I ever want female attention, I'll talk to the AI. And if I really want, if I just want to bang, I'll just call up the escorts, right? Or something like that. And it's not an unreasonable thought. It's not an unreasonable view. Or it might just be like the married company man who he's so sick of his wife's bullshit, but he doesn't want to cheat on her. He doesn't want to like ruin the family or anything like that. So he just has all of his relationship needs, his verbal and mental relationship needs met by the AI girlfriend. It could be any number of reasons.
I feel you. So there's basically really a need, or there's a niche for people who want it like a quick and convenient, always available 24/7 right in my pocket.
Yeah.
It's interesting, man. It's really interesting.
I think it is.
But literally, I can be lying in bed next to my wife, and she's going to be nagging me about taking out the trash, and I'm going to be venting that back out to my AI girlfriend right here.
I mean, I also think I remember a while ago on YouTube that I watched this basically like a documentary short, right? So it's like maybe 10, 15 minutes long. And it's about these guys who they're like the biggest weirdos on earth, right? And they have like these life-size, ultra-realistic dolls, sex dolls, right? They're like made of silicone, and they have big boobs and butts. They're like realistic, whatever you can think of that they have it. And it features it shows these guys, right? And one of them takes her to the park.
Oh, I saw that in a rolling. Wait a minute.
Yes, like a wheelchair, basically. Yeah, and
I saw that.
Like these guys are just like ultra weird, ultra strange, super geeky, or ultra socially awkward. They just cannot approach a woman to save her lives. And I remember the guy featured this one guy, the maintenance cleaner of it. So imagine having a job where your job is to clean these, right, and maintain.
Your job is to clean the sex dolls.
Yeah, and he said that they would like get smelly, out, disgusting. But the guy, he said like I know that this is probably one of the weirdest things any guy could do, but not all men are able or capable to meet a woman, make a girlfriend, or approach women and to have a wife and all that stuff. I think that these same guys, maybe not the guys who think it's a great idea to take a doll to a park, but at least in the same ballpark, the same field, if you will, there's a lot of overlap in how these guys would think having an AI girlfriend meeting their needs is, completely acceptable. Right. And I think that's what most are. Just like the guys who buy bathwater, just like the guys who have an OnlyFans and tip, thousands of dollars to their favorite Twitch streamer, to low-hanging fruit guys who just can't do it.
So I totally get that. And here's the thing is that those people are my people. Like
that's what I'm saying. And not that I'm saying that your clients are doll collecting weirdos. I gotta start right there. But I am saying that, like,
I mean, they aren't not.
Right. But like what I'm trying to say is I want you guys to realize that these AI prompts aren't too far from that, and it's probably the worst idea you could do. Aside from getting a $3,000 life-size doll that gets maintained by a guy who fucks when you're not looking.
Everything is better. Failing is better than doing that stuff. I rather fail than bang into a doll.
Then give up.
I then give up.
Right. Yeah. So here's the thing is that I fundamentally disagree with what you were saying that guy said, where he said, look, not everybody can meet girls. Not everybody can talk to girls. Not everybody can get a girlfriend. I fundamentally disagree with that assertion. I believe that if you believe you can't, then you're right, you can't. But You only believe that because of a lack of evidence to the contrary. So, if we were able to put you in situations where we could create the positive evidence so that it countered that assertion, then you would have to admit that you're wrong. And I genuinely believe that every single man, no matter how awkward, no matter how strange, no matter how socially inept, no matter what, everybody can learn to have some basic conversations. And if you can have a basic conversation and you can get positive reactions from people, then you aren't too strange to be able to get a girlfriend. It just means that, oh, okay, cool. You just never bothered trying to do the thing. And so, like, that's like somebody saying, yeah, it's impossible for me to swim.
I just thought about swimming.
I never tried to swim, but like it's impossible for me to swim. You have no evidence to the contrary, but if we can put you in the baby steps to get you there, to show you that your assertion is wrong, we can. These are my people, man. And like my mission in life is to help those guys. My mission in life is to help as many men as possible have genuinely good and great relationships. And that also includes the guys who think of themselves as outcasts, as not good enough, as not socially adept, whatever else. Those are my people. Those are the guys who I want to help. I mean, look at me. I'm old, fat, bald, D&D, video games, monkey with a butthole. Like, I'm fucking weird, okay? So these are my people. And if you ever meet them, I know that this is just a documentary, but if you ever meet them, send them my way, because these are my fucking people. I'm sorry, Barish. Go ahead.
No, man, no. I was enjoying this. It was awesome.
Remember, Barish, when in the documentary, when one guy was sending one of his dolls away to get maintenance, and he was getting nervous and stressed because she was going away.
Yeah. And didn't in the documentary also like he was going in this wheelchair to the park and set the doll on the bench, and his daughter also appeared in that documentary at some point, didn't you?
Hold on a second.
He had a daughter, and the daughter said like, yeah, I know it's a bit like, yeah. And then he was confronted with the question, do you sleep with the dolls? I think I remember that. And he sort of like paused for a second because he was like, I don't really want to say, but man, these people just need a wake-up call, man. They need to say like, I know it's hard. It must have been hard to divorce, or it must have been. I don't remember. See, like Julius, I think you remember probably better than I do, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember.
I'm trying to find it. Oh, I found it.
You found it?
Yeah, that was quick. Yeah, I remember one of the guys. He had a very distinct appearance, and I found him right away. It was like I just put "men with real sex dolls documentary" second search result.
Put that into our Discord.
I'm doing it right now. You
put it into the NSFW channel, because that sounds fucking spicy.
It's on YouTube, but I'll do
Okay, all right.
I'll put in the NSFW. I mean, like, you don't want to see that at work, right?
Yeah. Now, I just now noticed something, which is that I have a rather suggestive doll, and Julius behind him also has a rather suggestive doll.
Yeah. We should get
here. As we're sitting here talking about our different dolls.
I used to have a giant deagle, a desert deagle up there, but the thing broke. But
That's good, man.
Yeah, so it's like suggestive doll, gun. I want to make it as US as possible.
See, I can't do that with Germany. It's automatically racist. If I go Germany, they're like, "Whoa!"
It's okay. You're allowed to do it.
Really? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Mars is brown? Is he? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, he's like half Turkish, right?
Actually, both of them are Turkish. My parents, so
full Turkish. He's totally allowed to. Listen, he can root for Germany all day long. The only thing that would make it more okay is if he was Syrian. We all know the rules. It's all right.
Oh, Jesus. What's
any non-European country from
approved.
Oh, man.
man.
Anyway, I actually think that this is probably a good place because we're getting to about the 2 hour mark, and I'm starting to get drunk enough that I don't necessarily want it on public channels anymore. So this is probably a good place for us to go ahead and wrap up the public version. 2 of you don't go anywhere. We can still keep this show going once we shut down the public side of things. But for those of you who have joined in, watched the stream so far, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Special thank you to Julius and Barish for joining in today. Great talk, tons of fun. And if you've made it this far and you haven't done it yet, I implore you, hit that thumbs up button just below the video here. Hit that thumbs up button, and maybe you'll get to see another monkey butthole next week. Or if I see a lot of thumbs down buttons, then I won't show the monkey butthole next week. So make your vote one way or another. You want to see monkey butthole or not? Either way, it's a choice, and it's an important choice. Plus, it helps the channel. It helps our things grow and get out there for people. You know, the algorithm likes that shit. So I consider it a personal favor, and thank you so much for joining in and watching so far. Love every single one of you guys. And until next week, Papa Jack out.